Well, get those life vests zipped and clipped, strap down those rods, and stash away those tackle bags because we are going fishing. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bass 2 Anglers podcast. I'm your host, Keith Neiswanger, and I hope this episode finds you with 5 for 25 stored in your Bubba Pro Series Smart Fish Scale, integrated seamlessly with Major League Fishing Score Tracker. By the way, listening to Boyd Duckett, CEO of Major League Fishing, the other morning on Matt Pangreck's BTL show, it's becoming very apparent that the subject of bass tournament post-weigh-in mortality is of great concern to several important state wildlife commissions. It's something that's being talked about at the state level in several different states. As I've talked about many times on this podcast, we are learning that a much larger number of the fish that we catch in tournaments are dying after they've been weighed in and released, and after we see them swim off and think everything's just great. We're losing a lot more of those fish than we initially thought we were. You know how it is. You weigh them in, there's still a fin moving, and you think, okay, fish is great. Put it in the water, you see it swim off, everything's fantastic. Out of sight, out of mind. Well, not so fast. Several states have conducted or are conducting studies on what happens to the bass after we release them, and the news is not good. We're not doing as well as we thought we were. Fish are dying because of the stress that we put them through when we use a live weigh-in. But I fizzed that fish. I clipped weights to its fins so that it would stay upright in my live well. I poured magic sauce in. It ain't working, folks. You jabbed the needle in that fish. Did you sterilize that needle? Are you a fish doctor? You wouldn't do that to yourself, would you? All these things that we've been doing to fish over the years, telling ourselves we're doing a good thing. Yeah, I fizzed that fish. I injected a needle and drained the air out of the air bladder. That fish is going to be fine. No, it's not. People, the world of professional bass fishing tournaments is changing. You may not notice it at your local team event. There are still organizations that hold 3-hour-long weigh-ins, but it is changing. And if it hasn't changed where you're fishing yet, it's going to change soon. Major League Fishing, under Duckett's direction, is taking us in a direction that is better for conservation. Live weigh-ins where we hold up our fish and congratulate ourselves, they're going away, and it's about time. So, I hope this episode finds you with 5 for 25 stored in your Bubba Pro Series Smart Fish Scales, integrated seamlessly with Major League Fishing's Score Tracker. Caymas Boats, from the mind of Earl Bentz. Excellence, tradition, and service, all part of the Caymas advantage. On the water perfection. This is your next boat. Build your next boat at CaymasBoats.com. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Hello? Yes, I am recording my show at this minute. Yes, I always remind viewers to subscribe. What? They can also share this video with a friend? Well, that'd probably lead to more views, right? Wow. Okay, thanks. Who knew? You can share this video with friends? So share this video with a friend. Share it with an enemy. We'll be talking about forward-facing sonar at some point in this video today, so share it with Randy Blockett. Share this video. If you aren't shopping online yet with CopperStateTackle.com, you should be. Tons of bass catching awesomeness. It's only a couple clicks away. Go to CopperStateTackle.com, fill your shopping cart with all the good stuff, and proceed to checkout. When you get to checkout, remember to use our promo code BTAP1 to save 10% on your purchases. What's that you said? What's that? You said that you tried that and it didn't result in a discount for you? Okay, here's what happens. CopperStateTackle.com has sales all the time, 15, 20%, 25%. If they have a 20% sale going on, our code is not going to work. So what we're saying is go to CopperStateTackle.com. You're going to get at least 10% when you use our promotional code, BTAP1. What are you waiting for? Save at least 10%. Ducket Fishing's Jacob Wheeler Select Series. We asked Jacob Wheeler to pick out his favorite 6 rod designs, and we supercharged them with X-helical coil construction, carbon nanotechnology, and tri-level graphite integration to produce a rod with unparalleled performance and superb balance. Check out the Wheeler Select Series by going to ducketfishing.com. I got several comments on my recent Co-Angler Crybaby segment. One in particular I think kind of highlights my point. You might recall I said forward-facing sonar is not the reason co-anglers are leaving the tournament scene. So here's this. Keith, you're dead wrong. It is definitely because of forward-facing sonar. Also, strictly by the rules, a co-angler cannot throw past the center console, so the area to fish is the same with or without forward-facing sonar. I do agree with you. There are fish to catch outside of where the boater's targeting. I don't think co-anglers take the time to slow down and fish something like a Ned rig to catch those fish on the outskirts. Personally, I won't be back until there's a 100% ban on forward-facing sonar in tournament fishing. If that doesn't happen, so be it. I don't need tournaments to enjoy fishing. Hopefully in the future, the NPFL will have an opportunity to have co-anglers, but the news that I'm gathering is that it isn't something they are considering. While I really appreciate the comments, it does occur to me that this message is being missed. Being a co-angler is probably the crappiest situation in fishing. And I didn't say crappiest, I said crappiest. No boater is going to allow you to have first shot or best shot at any prime location. So we got to understand that right off the bat. No boater is going to give you the first or best shot at a fishing location. In the old days, when tournament anglers beat the bank for their fish, co-anglers never got good shots at the spots. They got backseated. Co-anglers were aimed at the perceived unproductive water behind the boat. It's just the way it has always been. In fact, a lot of times you would hear the comment, my pro backseated me. Yeah, that's what happens in these events where there are co-anglers in the same boat with pros. Today, with the emergence of forward-facing sonar, co-anglers have another factor to blame for their difficult fishing conditions: the live electronics. I know how it happens. Co-anglers watch Randy Blockett videos and convince themselves that forward-facing sonar is the root of their frustration at being a co-angler. Make sense? And I am still here to tell you that forward-facing sonar is not the reason you don't want to be a co-angler anymore. Oh, don't get me wrong. You may tell yourself that it's forward-facing sonar's fault, but you've created this convenient little rationalization so that you don't have to face the real reason you don't want to be a co-angler anymore. Being a co-angler sucks. It's a lousy fishing position to be in. In fact, tournament organizations know that being a co-angler sucks, and that's why they lower the limit on the co-angler side of most events. Why do you think the co-angler limit is typically 3 fish? It's because it's hard to catch fish from the back of the boat. Unless you approach the event from the standpoint that you're trying to learn something. Now, this is something that I feel like we've lost in translation somewhere along the lines. If you're there trying to learn something, then being a co-angler does not suck. The ability to hop in a boat with a pro bass angler and to observe what he or she does throughout the day, there's no better learning situation available. Co-anglers need to learn to be satisfied with just learning stuff. If a co-angler can be satisfied with just learning stuff, that probably took a pro angler a lifetime of being on the water to develop, that's a huge plus. Like so many other things in the world, we want instant gratification. We want to win that co-angler championship or that co-angler of the year award, rather than being satisfied with just learning some things. My comment to tournament organizations: do away with co-anglers. A lot of pros don't want to share their water with co-anglers to begin with. In this age of technology, I'm guessing that a lot of pro anglers probably don't like the idea that their co-angler can hit a waypoint on their GPS and come back and fish that spot sometime in the future. Tell me that never happens. I think that it does. If your tournament organization relies on co-anglers, then I would suggest taking a look at the WAN Bass format. Now, WAN Bass is out west, and they use a shared weight format that encourages pros to help co's and co's to help pros. It's a great way to do it. The pro takes the boat's weight to their side of the tournament. The co takes the boat's weight to their side of the tournament. And it's a great thing. It really encourages people coming together. And I think you'll find that in the West, we don't have any problem with co-anglers, largely because of this format. I can't believe I just took that much time talking about co-anglers. The Caymas difference is that it is an Earl Bentz boat. It features a hand-laid hull as opposed to a hand-sprayed hull that's used by many of our competitors. This boat features the Viper One touch screen, smart controls, and even has cameras in the live wells. At 21 feet 4 inches, this boat flies, while keeping its precious cargo, you, safe and dry in rough water. This is a fully loaded promotional boat. It's used at boat shows and special events. This means that the boat is available at a special promotional price. If you're interested, send me a DM on Instagram at Bass2Anglers Podcast. Here's something new and exciting. Dual threat fishing is coming to the tournament world with a new kind of high-stakes bass tournament. Dual Threat is offering a professional level team circuit for the 2026 season. And when I say professional level, these guys are swinging for the fences. The end of the season championship is going to pay $250,000 for first place, $100,000 for second place, $50,000 for third, on down to $13,000 for 20th place. There are 6 regular season tour events that pay $100,000 for first place, $20,000 for second place, on down to $7,500 for 25th place. Entry fees for these events are $5,000 per event. Do the math. There's 6 events. That's a $30,000 commitment. So again, the stakes are high, but so is the investment. The Dual Threat Fishing Series will cap their event at 100 teams per event. They're not going to allow A-rigs. But Dual Threat is a tech-friendly organization and will allow unrestricted use of forward-facing sonar. Excellent marketing there, because you know Randy will be criticizing them very soon in an upcoming video. Teams are required to record their entire day of fishing. I wonder if Dual Threat Fishing will allow anglers to live stream their events. That would be something. I've mentioned many times how much I enjoy watching anglers when they live stream their fishing days. I wonder if Dual Threat will allow that. That would be pretty cool if they did. The Dual Threat Tour will be a true pro-style tour schedule with stops in Florida in January at Okeechobee and the St. Johns River, an early March date at Oklahoma's Lake Eufaula, a late April stop at Guntersville in Alabama, a late May stop at Tennessee's Watts Bar Lake, and a late June visit to the Mississippi River out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. Very interesting. Now, I'm sure that Dual Threat will not have a problem finding teams that want to commit for those kinds of dollars. I mean, those are big dollars, and I'm sure lots of people will want to compete for those kind of dollars. I do wonder if Dual Threat is going to be able to find enough teams that are willing and able to invest $30,000 for the buy-in to this tour. That remains to be seen. I know there's an angler demographic out there willing to gamble that kind of money on their fishing performance. But I also know that that angler demographic is limited. I took a deep dive on the one group that I know is willing to take that gamble, the Pro Tour anglers. So I've taken the schedules for the Dual Threat Tour and cross-referenced them with Major League Fishing's Bass Pro Tour, the BASS Elite Series, and the NPFL. Here's what I found. So the first Dual Threat fishing event is January 21st through 23rd at Lake Okeechobee. Scanning the Bassmaster, the Bass Pro Tour, and the NPFL schedules, you see that there really are no conflicts. There is a slight conflict in that Stage 1 of the Bass Pro Tour is at Guntersville, January 15th through 18th. But really, that's not a conflict. You could fish that event and shoot on down to Lake Okeechobee for a January 21st through 23rd event. So far, so good. The second Dual Threat event is January 29th through 31st at the St. Johns River. And looking at the 3 different pro tours, I see no conflicts. Again, so far, so good. No conflicts there. The third event for the Dual Threat Fishing Tour is March 5th through 7th at Oklahoma's Lake Eufaula. And I see there that there is a direct conflict. If there were Bass Pro Tour anglers that were looking to be involved, that would be a direct conflict. Also, it appears that the NPFL, as of this recording, has not set their date for March, but they do have a March date on their schedule. So that's kind of up in the air there. The fourth stop for the Dual Threat Team Series is April 25th through 27th at Lake Guntersville. Looking at the tours, no conflicts with Bassmaster, no conflicts with Major League Fishing. There is a conflict with the NPFL as they have their second event of the season taking place at Wright-Patman Lake in Texas. So there's a conflict there. The fifth event of the Dual Threat Tour Series is May 28th through 30th at Watts Bar. And again, looking at the 3 schedules, I see no conflicts. So there's no conflicts there. And finally, the last event for the Dual Threat Series, June 26th through 28th at the Mississippi River. That conflicts directly with an NPFL event. But other than that, there are no conflicts. Now, one that I forgot to look at, because I'm sure this will also play pretty heavily, is the Major League Fishing Pro Circuit. They have one conflict. It conflicts with the last event of the season. The Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit will be at Lake Champlain, and that will conflict directly with the final Dual Threat event. Upon first glance, it seems like the BASS Elite Series pros could team up and fish the Dual Threat events, as there are no conflicts with the BASS Elite Series. This could be pretty cool. I could think of quite a few combos that I would like to see fished together. As of this recording, we have at least one fishing superstar committed to fish the Dual Threat Team Series. Scott Martin and his daughter Hillary Sue have announced that they are all in for this tour for the upcoming season. Additionally, I've spoken to a couple of other pros who've asked not to be named and that they are seriously considering jumping into this new team trail. Obviously, this is a developing story. How will Dual Threat's fishing attempt to break into the world of big-time tournaments go? Leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think about this. Introducing Ducket Fishing's Sway Minnow System. Not just a bait, an entire fishing system. Perfectly balanced jig heads in several fish catching sizes, matched up with the most realistic looking winged minnow baits that you've ever seen. With multiple size baits and jig head weights, you'll be able to figure out the perfect presentation. Check out the Ducket Fishing Sway Minnow System by going to ducketfishing.com. As fans of professional fishing, we really have it better today than we've ever had it. There's no question that coverage is far better today than what we grew up with, so to speak. I'm, of course, talking about our ability to access live streams of major tournament organizations that are available to us these days. The question is, what's better than being able to watch a professional bass angler pick apart cover and structure live on our streaming devices? Well, the answer to that is being able to watch two anglers pick apart cover and structure live on our streaming devices, and being able to watch and listen to them discuss their thoughts and rationale for all their moves. This past week, Major League Fishing's team series was in Oxford, Alabama for their fishing class team series Patriot Cup. Major League Fishing, famously known for choosing obscure locations for their cup events, headquartered this week in Oxford, Alabama. That location gave MLF dozens of possible locations within a 60-mile radius. No waypoints, no recent experience, and no pre-tournament practice is available for these pros. All they get is a 30-minute ride around. You can say what you want to say about Major League Fishing. They still have the most creative format with their catch, weigh, and release every fish counts approach to tournament fishing. The MFL format is also the most conservation format, as fish are released immediately and not stored in the box and not overhandled and not weighed in at the end of the day. On Monday's final day, we got to watch Jacob Wheeler and Dustin Connell figure out the route to win the championship of the Patriot Cup event. It was pretty amazing coverage. Reason number 12 that your next boat should be a Caymas. The Caymas XS series is the first bass boat to offer a carpetless fishing surface. Advanced marine flooring consisting of a padded non-skid surface allows you to fish comfortably on a deck that can be hosed down and easily cleaned at the end of your fishing day. Check out the new XS series of boats by going to the website caymasboats.com. Okay, I get clickbait. We all use it to get attention when we post videos. Sensationalized headlines designed to grab clicks. It started with newspapers a couple hundred years ago. Your headline has to have something that grabs viewers, readers, or listeners. I think you all understand what I'm talking about. I love Ben Milliken. I consider myself to be an MFer. Every time a new video drops in his channel, one of my top priorities is to make sure I watch it. I love what Ben's done with his pro career, setting out to qualify for the BASS Elite Series, qualifying for it, and then going out and doing battle with the top names in the sport. Fantastic. So much appreciation and admiration for what Ben's been able to accomplish. However, in light of all the recent drama we've seen in professional fishing events, the DQs, the fines, forward-facing sonar controversies, weight shoved down the gullets of bass, kayakers photoshopping their catches, fish baskets, fish cages, and toxic comment sections, I think old Ben may have gone a little far this time. Ben dropped a video a week ago with the following clickbait headline. And you can see it right here. Tucker Smith cheated to win $500,000 in a fishing tournament. Now, I know what I thought when I saw it. I'm sure you felt the same way. The headline, of course, refers to Tucker Smith's big win at the Ultimate Angler Championship at Lake Guntersville and his massive $500,000 payday. I thought, all things considered, the title was a little over the top. Now, the video was an absolute tribute to Tucker. Ben had nothing but praise and was quick to point out to all the haters who think that Tucker Smith and any of the younger anglers are only good at forward-facing sonar, that it's time for those haters to go back downstairs into their basements and come up with more excuses why today's younger anglers are just better. Pure and simple. But again, it's the title, Caught Cheating. Yeah, it got our attention. Yeah, we thought, oh boy, here we go again. And yes, we did click the link. But honestly, the title, we would have watched the video anyway. Reason number 15 why your next boat should be a Caymas. Our high-speed live well pickup. Fish mortality is a big deal on today's tournament trails. Introducing Caymas's high-speed live well pickup. Now you can take great relief knowing that as you fly down the lake, your precious cargo will be getting fresh water to make sure they are healthy for the weigh-in scales. Build your next boat by going to caymasboats.com. Well, we had a great opportunity to watch two different styles of fishing in action this week at Major League Fishing's Fishing Class Team Series Patriot Cup. On Championship Monday, 4 teams launched at Alabama's Logan Martin Reservoir. Jacob Wheeler and Dustin Connell opted to fish offshore using live electronics to chase bass that were actively feeding. Takahiro Omori and Dean Rojas opted to beat the shoreline looking for shallow bank fish. It was old school versus new school. It was yesterday versus today. It was the way I used to fish versus the way I know I need to start fishing. In the end, forward-facing sonar haters aren't going to be happy. Wheeler and Connell caught 46 keepers and blew away the field. Rojas and Amari caught 17 keepers and finished significantly behind the winners. It's not cheating, it's fishing smarter. It's taking what you learned in the old school and using it with smarter applications. You're not just losing to younger anglers, you're losing to anglers that are more motivated to improve, study, and learn. Because everyone knows you can't teach an old dog a new trick. I'm Keith Neiswanger. This is the Bass to Anglers podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you'd like to reach us, please send us a direct message on Instagram at Bass Tour Anglers Podcast. Take care. Be safe. We'll talk to you next time.